Hi friends, strangers, internet. I'm back again with another video, and I don't know why I'm singing about it, but I am. This was started by Zane Son here on YouTube. She uploaded her video May 7th, and I've already seen a couple of my other favorite YouTube peoples do this tag, so I thought, let me jump on this. It looked really fun, and I have a thing for tag videos, and I hope no one's getting tired of them yet. I'm also looking at my ring light that's just barely staying up and just hoping it stays until I can finish this tag. The tag has 8 questions. It's obviously all about single eyeshadows. And right here is my single eyeshadow collection hanging out, ready for showing off. The first question is, do you prefer buying single shadows or palettes? And I will say the answer is both. I do find single shadow collection and curation super fun and interesting and kind of tapping into a creative part of me, but I love finding a good palette that's well put together. They're not always out there, but when I find them, it makes me so happy. So I'll say both for sure. So second question, when did you start buying single shadows and what got you into them? My very first single eyeshadow purchase was Coastal Scents, and that specific purchase was through Angelica Nyquist here on YouTube. I think that watching her and looking at her tutorials, she really got me into the concept of single eyeshadows a lot. And then basically other YouTubers were talking about them, using them, and I was seeing so much color and so many interesting textures and all of that. So Coastal Scents was my first purchase. They're really super affordable, especially if you find them during a sale. I don't love everything I bought from them, but that was it was March of 2018 was when I made that purchase. And then after that, I think I ordered from Looksy Beauty. I've done about 2 orders with them, and I ordered from Davina. And then in the last few months, we've had JD Glow Cosmetics, Lethal Cosmetics, and Cleona Cosmetics. So those are my main brands that I have. The third question is, what are your favorite brands and formulas of single eyeshadows? And I have an easy top 2 answer. So Lethal Cosmetics for matte eyeshadows, absolutely #1, no questions, perfection. Their shimmers are also nice, but for shimmers, Cleona Cosmetics. They make gorgeous, gorgeous duochromes, shimmers, such interesting variety of colors. They just have some of my favorite shimmers. And then I would say, because I can't just answer a question for like top #1, you'll see this as we go through the tag. Runners up, I'll say the other runner up is JD Glow. These shadows are stunning, but they need to be babied. They are very delicately pressed. They are very flaky and going to fall out on your face if you don't use glitter glue. But when you use glitter glue, they are just breathtaking. So the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments, their matte colorful eyeshadows are really, really good. I will be honest, I don't reach for them as much as I did when I first got them because I have Lethal Cosmetics and I love those. But I do enjoy the Colored Rain formula. It's very, very punchy. So the next question is, if you could only pick 3 singles as the crown jewels of your collections, what would they be? Obviously, I'm cheating with this answer because I have more than 3. the first one I have to mention is also Colored Rain. This is Malibu. The Colored Rain like shimmer foil formula is so good. It is just truly some of the most soft, like oily, dense, reflective shimmers. I don't have that many of the Colored Rain shimmers, and I need to change that, but it's really good. If you're into neutrals, their Queen of Hearts palette is really good as well. I gave that one away because I don't use it very much, but their shimmers are, in my opinion, underrated across the like beauty world. Like, look at that shine. The next crown jewel is an odd one. This is a lavender blue duochrome, which is straight up one of my top favorite colors to wear. The reason why this is an odd one is that this pan is basically a Frankenstein of a couple of shadows. Mostly this is a purple from the Juvia's Place Magic palette. That palette is worth getting for this color alone. But there is a second color that I believe got blended into this that was also a lavender blue duochrome. If I can figure out how to insert it, I will insert a picture of the great single eyeshadow loss of 2018 when one of my cats knocked over a palette that was holding all of my single eyeshadows, and a lot of them were broken. And that is why I do not use one big palette anymore. Sorry, sad story in the middle of happiness. So the last crown jewels that I'm going to mention are, I'm going to go back to JD Glow. So one that a lot of people already rave about is Good God. It's this color right here. And the thing about JD Glow is some of their formulas are just straight like glitter and a shadow without being pressed glitter. So that's Good God. But I feel like you don't even see the shift in there. Another one that I have that has that similar kind of formula, and I think is talked about a little less, is called Unexpected. And you can see why these are not my favorite is because they kind of flake up and they flake out and kind of go everywhere. So you definitely want a sticky base. But it is so pretty. It's like one of those blue-brown pigments, but even cooler. But I would say probably my favorite top crown jewel is JD Glow Limelight. It's a Metallon shadow. Some of the other shadows are Galaxy shadows. So I bought this when I was in that state of annoyance that I did not get the Melt Gemini palette before it was gone. And I was in love with every shimmery olive shadow you could find. Well, this one, that one wins over every shimmery olive I've ever found. JD Glow wins. I can't get enough of this color. Again, you want to put it on a glitter glue because it will flake and shed, but this color just does things. So those are my crown jewels. Don't necessarily reflect the ones that I'm using the most, even by color or formula, but the ones that make me go, oh yeah, those. And yes, I'm keeping that weird moment in the video. Next question is question 5. What brands singles do you want to try in the future? There's so many indie brands out there, so this question has like a never-ending answer for inspiration. But a couple of the brands that I have seen and never tried before that intrigue me are Touch of Glam, Give Me Glow, and Emmy Cosmetics. So I kind of get Touch of Glam and Give Me Glow mixed up in my head, but they both have really pretty shadows out there in the world. And then M Cosmetics, same. They have some very pretty ones. I mean, I think for all three of those brands, it's all about the shimmers and the duochromes and everything. But I could just like bathe myself in shimmers and duochromes. Oh wait, I forgot about another brand, Nabla. Nabla single eyeshadows. That is the only thing that really interests me from that brand. Maybe their blushes, but Nabla Cosmetics, their single eyeshadows. Again, duochromes. Give me all the duochromes. So those are the brands I want to try in the future. So I actually feel like question number 6 and number 7 could kind of be reversed in order to get a better set of answers. So I'm going to answer number 7 first. So number 7 is, how many single eyeshadows do you have? And Zane mentioned you can give an estimate, you can count. I was curious, so I counted. I have 155 shadows. Whew. I will say, some of the shadows that I counted are depotted eyeshadows from palettes. So I had depotted a bunch of Juvia's Place shadows. I've depotted a Violet Voss palette I had, an Urban Decay palette I had, and a few others. Some of the shadows that are in that count are depotted shadows. They're not specifically single shadows. I also have depotted all of my ColourPop palettes, except for my 2 newer ones, except for the purple and green one. Every other palette that I had from them is depotted, and it's within that mix. And I actually think that number is a lie, because I have some neutral shadows that I haven't touched in ages in another part of my collection. So that number is probably closer to 200, if we're being realistic. Anyway, so the reason why I thought that the 2 questions should be flipped is that, so in question 7, she mentions that give us a count, or you can show off how you store your single eyeshadows. And question 6 was, what, if any, are some of your single shadow color gaps? So I'm going to show you my single shadow palettes, and you all can tell me what you think I'm missing. So this is a palette from Lethal Cosmetics. This has mostly Lethal Cosmetics shadows, along with 2 random ones that didn't have a home. But these are not all of my Lethal Cosmetics shadows. These are just some. These are all of my Clionadh Cosmetics shadows. And then next we have most of my JD Glow shadows. There we go. The next 4 palettes that I have are by color. So I really enjoy having the shadows divided up by color, because I tend to think about eye looks that way. I have the JD Glow, Lethal, and Clionadh Cosmetics shadows separate because I do reach for them the most. So this palette are all of my blue shadows that don't fall into any of those brands. So you can see, like, these are Urban Decay shadows that I depotted. These are my Juvia's Place ones up here, and then just a bunch of other brands mixed in. So those are blues. The next color family we have are warm tones. So this includes some like shimmery nudes from Booksy Beauty, a gold, a lot of peaches, oranges, and reds. The next palette is probably my second favorite color family, and that is purples and pinks. And if you can't tell, I'm pretty hard on my shadows. This one also broke in travel recently. I tend to drop them. I tend to dig my fingers into them. So that's purples. Then the last, this is, I feel like it's a bit of a pièce de résistance. Excuse my terrible accent. This is my yellow and green palette. And this is, ooh, this makes me so happy. So you can see some Lethal Cosmetics over here, some JD Glow and JD Glow, my all-time favorite matte yellow, Colored Rain Lemon Drop, some really pretty shimmery yellows from Luxie and Divina, although my favorite shimmery yellow is in my Cleona palette. So yeah, this is a favorite. And as you can see, I have a mix of different palettes that I use. This is a Juvia's Place empty palette. These are Z palettes sold at Ulta. And the Ulta brand tends to do a lot of sales. So I got these 4 when they were doing buy 2 get 2 free. So I got 4 empty palettes for $40, and I felt like that was a really good price. But that was before I discovered Shop Miss A. They do a lot of different empty palettes, and while their shipping is super slow, I do enjoy their palettes. Some of them have mirrors inside. So these are some empty ones that I have, these palettes. These are also from Shop Miss A. And they hold 9 like traditional size shadows or some other mix of other size shadows. These are probably my favorite travel palette. You can see they're beat up and ugly. This palette or this palette are great travel palettes. I just recently took this one on my trip, and I had face and eye. Like I had bronzer, blush, highlight, and eyeshadows in this. But I've also used these as just great eyeshadow palettes. This is also a really good way of how I use my shadows. I'll go through my collection and pick out a color story that I'm interested in playing with that for a day, a week, a month, whatever it might be. Keeping them in color groupings like I have them now is my favorite way to be able to say, okay, I want to go in and look for greens, peaches, and yellows or something, and I know where to pull from. That's another little trick of my single eyeshadow collection, is I use these to keep me cycling through different brands and different colors. So the last question is number 8, is does my single eyeshadow collection lean towards a certain color family, or is one color family overrepresented? And I would definitely say yellows and greens are the answer to that question, but I love those colors. I really love them, and lately like a mustardy greeny yellow has become my neutral. Like that's what I put down and as a base, and then put other shadows on top. So I'm not mad about it, but it's definitely overrepresented. But it's also like my heart, so I'm good with it. Kind of an anticlimactic end. Oh, you're so pretty. I can't help myself. That is the single shadow collection tag, and I enjoyed doing it. It was fun. It's always fun to talk about single shadows. I feel like this is one part of my collection that I'm kind of excited to show off a little bit, because they're so much fun for me. So much fun. I've never tagged people before. I'm gonna tag a few people. I'm tagging Lacey of Spooky Lips and Fat Hips, Mia's Virtual Vanity. Who else was I just thinking about? Teresa is Dead, and Annette's Makeup Corner. I tag all of y'all to do this video, and anyone that's watching. You know the drill. You're tagged. Tag your it. Go have fun with this. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for spending a little time with me while I blab on about shiny magpie things, and hopefully I will see you again real soon. Bye everybody.